Stop chasing. What's going on, y'all? It's Marcel, aka Honey Bunny Sunny, and you know I'm on a mission to make you some money. Listen, today we got a lot to talk about. All right, so y'all pile on in here. We got a lot to talk about today. We got a lot to unpack today, just based off of this market and how it shaked out these last couple of days. All right, so there's some things that I really want y'all to understand. Make sure you have, pen, paper, however you take notes, because I got a lot of things that I want to discuss. I'm going to break down a few stocks that I have that I'm going to be looking at for plays next week, possible entries today, and then I'm going to take any sort of inquiries that you guys have about different stocks that you want me to analyze that you may be looking at. Also, if y'all have any questions about why certain things worked out the way that they did, or like how they worked out, what the breakdown is, feel free to ask those in the chat too, because like this week is setting the tone for what's to come. Right, there's a really big move that's on the horizon, and I want to explain to you guys like how I know that and what direction I believe it's going to go. All right, if you are new to this channel, welcome. Do me a favor, everybody hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment. You can comment your favorite color, your name, where you from. I don't care what it is. Get comments in as early as possible. That's going to help get this out into the algorithm so that more people can be helped by what I'm getting ready to discuss in this video. All right, who we got up in the house today, man? Who we got up in here? What's going on, James? QTZ, how you feeling? Pamela, what's going on, Pam? That's Eleanor, I believe, right? ESJ? What's going on, 2600? Almost made 1,000 today from SMCI, but I got out too early. Hey, listen, you doing your thing. You keep doing that consistently, bro. You gonna be on the way. That's what's up. Shout out to you for that. Who else we got in here? Miss Virgo, how you feeling? What up, though? 6 Mile Down, how you feeling, bro? Brittany, what's going on? I got my snack today, y'all. I said I wasn't gonna get on another live hungry. You know what I'm saying? So I got my little snack today. Stoic, what's going on, man? See, I gotta learn y'all names over here on YouTube, and I gotta learn them over there on TPC. It'd be different, but it's good seeing y'all. Denisha, how you feeling? Hey, Denisha, I appreciate you yesterday. I appreciate your help. Chiming in on the work session yesterday. I appreciate that. How's everything been with you? I feel like we don't talk that much no more. I know you've probably been busy, but how's everything been on your end? James, what's going on, man? All right, y'all, look. Y'all get on in here. I'm gonna give this some time for some more people to get in, but we're gonna talk about a lot today. We're gonna go over quite a bit of different setups that I see, and we are gonna discuss like some of the plays that I called this week. Majority of them worked out. There were some that did not go exactly how we wanted it. Tesla and in particular, even though it did give us a really good downside. So if you added to it, you came out in profit. If you didn't add to it, then more than likely you probably got caught up in a vicious bounce. But I'm gonna break down all of that, show you guys what I'm seeing, and what I believe the next move is. How's y'all Friday going so far? How y'all feeling out there? How's this week been? How's this week been for y'all? As you come in, let me know where you're chiming in from. Go ahead, throw a like on this. Let's try to get everybody. We got 23 people watching. Let's try to get everybody to throw a like. Look, the beautiful thing about likes, y'all, it don't cost nothing. You just gotta be like, doop. Hey, look, I'm gonna show you right now. Look. We could do it all. We're gonna do it all at one time, all right? On the count of 3, we all just gonna be like, doop, and just hit that like button. That's all we gotta do. You feel me? Doop. That's it. Just as easy. You make money with a button. You like the page with a button. This life, they've made this life really easy for us. We just gotta doop, hit a button. You feel me? That's it. That's all I need from y'all. I ain't asking for nothing else. Just doop, one of them joints. You feel me? Say appreciate you for real, bro. Be calling him like Phil Jackson. Hey man, I appreciate it, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not perfect. I don't get it right 100% of the time, but I'm a call some bangers for sure. You know what I mean? Every now and then it's gonna be a little something that's off for whatever reason, but for the most part, we're gonna do it, man. I appreciate that. He said, I'm present every day, just in the background, making sure I can fish on my own, and then checking in with the group. That's Confluence. Awesome, awesome. How's everything? How's your family? How's your your kids, all that stuff? Everything good on your end? It ain't just about making money. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that you good. All right. All right. So allow a few more minutes for some more people to get in here. But like I said, if you on this live, just give me one of them. Just give me one of them likes. That's all I'm asking. Right. That's going to help more people come in here, and hear the message. We don't do no gatekeeping. Our family and members, they don't do no gatekeeping. So we getting this out to as many people as possible. All right. I appreciate all of y'all. Hey, he said you gotta choose another another snack for life. Hey, that's funny for so many reasons, y'all. That's hilarious. Hey, look, I had an apple earlier, but I finished that. So yeah, this what I got. Listen, man, an apple and a banana a day, you a healthy man. You know what I'm saying? Got your blood flowing, got your potassium, you got all the minerals you need. Said so far your Friday started off right and the family's good. There we go. Okay. Michelle, how you feeling? Yeah, y'all hilarious, yo. All right, we're gonna get into it, y'all. I'm gonna pull up I'm gonna pull up my charts in just a second. He said might need to get you a only hey, go ahead. Hey, go ahead. Brittany funny. All right, here we go. Let's get into it. Y'all know what I'm starting with. I'm starting. Y'all know I'm going straight into Tesla because Tesla a little is it did some weird stuff. Y'all let me know when y'all can see my chart. Just drop a yes. We can see it. Whatever, however you want to say that. You at work trying to watch me. I appreciate you, Michelle. I appreciate you chiming in. But look, don't let me be the reason you get in trouble at work. I'm gonna act like I don't know what's going on. Nawan, what's going on, brother? All right. All right, y'all. So look, I got Tesla pulled up. Tesla, again, we entered a few days ago. Yesterday we got the fail two up, which is a strong reversal. Today it scared a lot of people. It started off, I think it was up like maybe like 60%, and was just going in a straight line. You know what I mean? Like just to the upside, and then it exhausted itself. A little bit above the previous candle, and then it fell down, and I believe it came as low as like 0.50%, right? So it was in the red about 0.50%. If you add it at the top, you'd be in profit, no problem. If you got in the play yesterday, you should have had an opportunity to take profit as well. If you didn't do any of those things and you were just in it from the beginning, then of course theta kicked your ass. You know what I mean? Like the decay from it holding these levels and consolidating, it just chewed up our contracts. But if you look at what it did fail the top and go to the up and go to the downside. So it did what we wanted it to do. It just didn't make a big enough move to to put us back into the green with that particular play. So what I'm seeing right now with Tesla is like we could see a little, a little more continued consolidation. Again, the last time, we were analyzing this stock, I showed y'all the head and shoulders, right? We got the head right here, we got the left shoulder right here, we got the right shoulder right here, right? We also had this downward movement, right? If we're just focusing on the right side of this, some may interpret this as a downward movement and then a pullback, which forms a bear flag. So we got the bear flag right there. We got the breakout. The setup was there. We took it, and it decided to not go up and ruin the trade, but it also didn't go down. So, like I said, theta, meaning like the time decay, got the best of us. So since it's Friday, we didn't have enough time for, the little move that it did make to the downside to mean much. Again, if you added to it, you were able to profit. But if you stayed in that same position, you didn't make any money. You lost money. All right. So what I'm seeing for Tesla is still a very strong opportunity to the downside. I'm not going to recommend getting into it yet until we get a directional move. With these last 2 days, it stayed inside of this little range right here. Right? It stayed inside of this range. This is very indecisive right here. Anybody who looks at this and is like, oh yeah, the stock is going up or the stock is going down, run away because they're lying to you. All right. Whenever you see a failure at the high, of the top and the bottom, right, creating this little doji, thing like this, you see a push up right here. You got a fail two up, but nothing. This is indecision. The market doesn't know which way it wants to go. Now there's a lot of opportunity in both directions, right? If Tesla can get above this level here, 455, then that's breaking the neckline of this this flag right here. That's blowing the bear flag up, right? So if it gets above that level, then it doesn't have resistance on the daily until about 499.50, right? So just under $500. So instead of trying to play Tesla, off the bear flag, because we see that it's not having a strong, reaction off of that, we need to wait for a bigger move to take place in order for us to feel comfortable entering the play. Again, let me actually say this before I get started, right? This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing what I believe, right? This is for entertainment purposes only. You know what I mean? If I made you laugh one time, then we qualify to be entertainers. All right, so just laugh real quick, and that makes this legal. You know what I mean? So there we go. We got that out the way. If this breaks above again that 455.50 level, then I'd be excited about this retracing back to high. Right? Again, we know Tesla, once it gets moving, it can really move. I wanted to see it, fall here. It did not give us that. Again, we can't control the market. But again, it also did not blow the setup up either. Since it didn't blow the setup up and the setup is still in play, we just don't have time in it anymore. The best thing to do is wait for it to really choose a direction. So if we're talking about downside, we need to see this break below here, right? We need to see it get below, like break down and get below the swing low of this bear flag. So 424.50, right? Notice that a lot of these levels are right at the 50 level, right? So 424.50 to the downside, 455.50 to the upside, and the target on the upside would be a retrace of the high, right? We would catch it intraday for pops of 20-30%, but if you were looking to really get a nice bag in Tesla over time, a close on the daily above that 455.50 level would be something that I would be interested in too. So as we get closer to that, we can start talking more about how far out we want to get it. But I want y'all to write those levels down: 455.50 to the upside, and then 424.50 to the downside. All right, so mark those levels, write them down on Tesla, and that's going to be the range in which we're holding for Tesla. Below it, again, 424.50. Below that, close on the daily, we're looking for swings to the downside. Above the 455.50, close on the daily, we're looking for swings to the upside. All right? So that's Tesla. Amazon. Zay, what up? Okay, I see Zay. Zay got here in time. I thought I'd be expecting you to show up probably about 12:30, 12:45, you know what I'm saying? So you're thinking about swinging SoFi and Netflix? We can go over those. I'll write those down. SoFi, Netflix. All right. Yeah. So Amazon is sitting right in a bullish order block, right? The same area that it bounced off the other day, when we caught it. It's bouncing off that same area. Again, this looks like a pretty perfect break and retest, right? Is break this level right here, this this level right here that I'm circling is retesting that level. So it could absolutely go to the moon from here. But what I would like to see is a confirmation candle. Again, since this week was so weird with price action in the second half of the week. The first half of the week was beautiful, the way that the stocks were moving. But Thursday and Friday, as y'all can see, we got like a little bit of consolidation, a little bit of a little pop, and then a fake out. Not really making any huge moves. So this consolidation can continue, right? So we don't want to put ourselves in a position where our contracts are getting eaten up before a major move is made to confirm that we are indeed moving. All right. So with Amazon, what I would need to see is a close above today's highs, right? Or really yesterday's would do it, because today's highs is a little lower than yesterday's. But this level here about 241, a close above 241, a bullish close above 241 would make me excited about, okay, this trying to go and retrace the high sitting at 249. All right. So mark the level of 241 as your confirmation for Amazon. All right. 241 is the confirmation level for Amazon. A close above that is your confirmation level for Amazon. And we want to see that on Monday. Well, I think we might be closed Monday. Are we closed Monday, y'all? I think we might be closed Monday. Because MLK. Let me see. Is the market open Monday? Oh, the market's open. I guess they don't care about MLK. Yeah, that's messed up. All right, so yeah, it don't stop the money. So we will be open on Monday. So we want to see a confirmation with a bullish close above 241 on Monday. Why they do MLK like that, man? Everybody else get off. They hating on the Capricorn. Oh yes, Denisha, CVX. I know you've been asking about that. All right, I got you. We put that on the list for sure. He said people want to come in as soon as you go live. There we go. All right. Again, y'all, if y'all just getting in here, make sure y'all like this up. That's how we gonna get in front of more people. All right. So I appreciate y'all for doing that. So again, yeah, 241 for Amazon. Above that is when I start looking for swings. And again, I'm doing this every day at 11:30 Pacific, 2:30 Eastern. So there'll be updates to everything that I'm saying. Matter of fact, you might want to just keep a notebook that's just for these lives. You know what I mean? Because things will build on top of each other. We'll update plays that we call. We might change entries and stuff like that. So definitely lock in. All right. All right. Let's go right into SoFi. Let's go right into SoFi. Okay. what were you thinking, Zay? You were thinking swinging this to the upside. You were thinking about taking calls in this. Oh, well, I'm behind on comments. You said I got cooked in Netflix and Tesla swing calls. Yeah, no stop loss. No stop loss sizing for zero. Okay. Yeah. We all did in the in the Tesla one. It says Webull says it closed on Monday. You said Webull said it's closed. Oh, so it is closed on Monday. Oh, it is closed. All right. So Tuesday. I don't know what. So oh, it said. Oh, okay. It says yes. Okay. I read that incorrectly. It says yes, it's closed instead of no, it's not open. Okay. All right. So yeah, it's closed. So Tuesday is when we want the confirmation. All right, appreciate it. Darrell, what up, man? Gorgeous one, good to see you. Jamila, good to see you in here. You said those red blocks are order blocks. Yeah. So we'll get back to that in just a second. If y'all just joining again, like this up. Let's try to get a record level of likes. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead, heart it up, like it up, whatever y'all do. All right. Very simple to just hit one button. All right. So yeah, we'll go over that in a second, Zay. Who else joined in here? All right, cool. So these red blocks here are bearish order blocks, right? So whenever you see this, also y'all, I have a video that says like it says like this one indicator you need. Pretty popular video of mine. Just go watch that. I've dropped it in the group a couple of times, but definitely like go watch that because that has a lot of vital information about these order blocks. I'll give you guys a brief summary of that. Again, the name of it is called order block detector, right? So write this down. This is a free indicator. There is a paid version of Lux Algo, but the order block detector by Lux Algo is a free indicator that you can get in TradingView. All right, it is critical. I mean, if you just look at it, you see order block right here, rejected off of it. Order block right here, rejected off of it. It's not always going to reject directly off the first part of the order block, but what this means is that in this area, you should be exercising caution, period. I don't care how much volume you think something has or how good the setup is. If it is sitting near or in one of these order blocks, it is a high chance that it's going to go into the opposite direction. It's going to sell off at some point, right? We just waiting for the volume to catch up to it. So yeah, I would definitely get that indicator if I were y'all and turn that on at least a couple times a day just to kind of see where things are. It works on every time frame. All right, so that's called the order block detector by Lux Algo. All right, so SoFi, I don't really see like a clean setup. Like it is down here in the area that it seems to continue. Like I mean, wow, for since October, this area just seems like a very bounceable area. So you know this could bounce, but it's not giving me enough confirmation yet that it's going to bounce on the next candle. So I wouldn't necessarily swing it. Also, it could come down and retest. It can come down and retest the Bollinger Band, right? It might still have a little bit more room to come down. So there's nothing here that confirms that it's reversing, right? It's like this could be. Some may call this a reversal signal, but the body is a little bit too big for it to be considered a reverse hammer for me. So when I look at this, I look at like, oh, it still might have a little bit more room to come down, but definitely not like a sure, swing it to the upside. There's nothing here that's telling me that, right? Let me go on the weekly and see what the weekly is saying. The weekly is probably a bearish picture. Never forget or underestimate the weekly, y'all. All right. So when I look at the weekly says that it wants to continue coming down. Right? We got a fail two up, and then we got a pretty bearish close on today. We got another. I did it again. I said on today. keep doing that. Am I? Does that mean I'm getting older? On today, I hate that. We got a bearish close today, not on today. So it looked like we might get a bearish close today. We got an hour left in the market. So yeah, this looks like it could potentially come down a little bit more, Zay, before reversing. So I'm not seeing anything that's like that's saying swing it to the upside just yet. Yeah, it is. Like I said, it is on the other side of the mean. So it is down here getting close to the Bollinger Band, and we know when it usually when it taps the Bollinger Band, just based on historical data, it does bounce, but it's not quite there yet. So yeah, I would wait for some sort of confirmation of like a higher high and a higher low, like a maybe on Tuesday we get like a little slight drop down, like down to this like $26 area, and then it pops up, and then it closes maybe like around 26.86, and it creates like a bullish engulfing. If I see something like that off the Bollinger Band, then I'm like, okay, this really wants to go up. Y'all saw what happened when we got the the bullish engulfing on AMD. So I just need to see something that has a little bit more of a stronger signal that is changing. Let me ask you this, Zay. What were you looking at? What were you looking at that made you think that you wanted to swing it to the upside? Who we got in here so far? Yeah, Tesla be playing Jamila for sure. Yep. Jamie, I see you. What up? What up? Liz, good to see you. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Yeah, I caught myself saying on today once again. I don't know what that is. We gotta figure that one out. We gotta figure that one out. But yeah, Zay, what were you looking at to determine wanting to swing it to the upside? I'm just trying to get a little peek into your brain. Yeah, Tesla play way too much, y'all. And here's the thing, y'all. Like it's like I was in that play. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna tell you guys to get in the play that I'm not taking with my own money either. That particular one was it's like this. I said it in my last video, right? I did a video about trading in the zone. This book right here. Yep. If you haven't gotten it, please get it. Every trader should own this. All right, y'all can go ahead and screenshot that. All right, go ahead and screenshot that, and while y'all screenshotting, go ahead and continue to like this up. Right, throw some likes on the video, but screenshot this. Trading in the zone, you gotta have it. Right. So in the video, I was talking about how like the way that you control your emotional risk, or manage your emotional risk, right? Meaning maintain your psychology, is to understand the things that are your fault and the things that are not your fault. It is important to understand this about trading. Matter of fact, let me cut this off for just a second so y'all can really see me. All right. It's important to understand that there are some things that are your fault, and there's some things that are not your fault. And when you can label the things that are your fault and not your fault, and you have them organized, then you know how to approach the situation, right? Now, if you see a setup and it's a setup and there's confluence there, and again, this is like an 80% probability, so you've done your research and your homework on the likelihood of this working out, and then it doesn't work out, you can't be mad. You gotta, yeah, it's gonna sting a little bit because you're talking about real money, but it's like, hey, if I saw the setup again, would I take it or not? If you don't take it, then that means that you're not gonna have a successful trading career, because every time something doesn't work out, you're gonna abort the mission. You're gonna change your strategy. You're gonna switch sides. You're going to a different team, right? You ever been in a relationship? You ever had friends or family, which I all have, actively or have been in. You're not always going to be on the same page. It's not always going to be correct. You're not always going to be correct. But you don't just leave because of that. That's not a reason to be done with something, right? There's no way to build if every time you're not correct, you're like, okay, this sucks. I've seen traders come and go with that attitude, and that's exactly what they did. They came and they went. But the ones that are still around, they understand the emotional risk of, feeding into the fact that something is their fault or there's something wrong with them. It's like, yo, losing comes with this. Losing comes with it. I've been trading for years, made a lot of money, right? And to this day, there's still times that I lose. It's not a trader on earth that can tell you that they don't. All right. So understand that, if you do take a loss, it's completely okay. It doesn't take away any credibility. You're not a bad person. You're not a bad trader. None of that stuff. It's just like, okay, like why did I lose? Was it my fault, or was it just like the 20% of the time that it doesn't work? Because it's a 80% probability. So, oh yeah, this is just a 20% of the time that this particular setup is just not working. Can't do nothing about it. If I saw it again, I would take it again. The same thing with Tesla. If I saw Tesla set up again, I'd take it again. All right. So let's get back to SoFi. Did Zay have a comment on why he told you? Said I just like it long term, and was waiting to get into leaps or something like that. Okay, I'll look at it and see how much it pulled back, Zay, to see if it's ready for leaps yet, because it might be ready for leaps. I haven't looked at it long enough to actually see that. It says those Tesla plays were amazing this week. It's my favorite stock, but it was love and fear relationship. It was my first big loss in the stock, but this week, so great, thank you. No, absolutely, yeah. We caught it. We caught it. Earlier in the week, we tried to swing it. It didn't work out, but like I said, it's part of the game. And definitely, I'm gonna continue showing up and continue giving y'all, bangers, banger after banger. But I want y'all to also understand this, right? I'm as 100 as they come. There will be times that I'm incorrect. I don't want to say wrong, but there will be times that I'm incorrect, meaning that because we're dealing with all probabilities, it's like I'm only taking high probability stuff. So majority of the time, you'll see that my stuff does work, but there will also be times where it doesn't work. But if you're risking your money, you know what I'm saying? If you have proper risk management, winning 80% of the time, or 80% of the time something working out for you, that means that in the end you should still have more money than what you started with, right? The only time that you would have less money than what you started with is if you're not risking your money properly, or you're not managing it properly. All right, so like I said, I'm not one of those people that get on here like, look, everything that I say is always right. It's like it's impossible to say that. That's super arrogant. No way to say that, because I can't predict the market. Nobody can. You know what I'm saying? Like, so majority of the time, I stand on that. I will be right most of the time. You can add it up, but it's going to be some ones that get away from me, and I'm taking those losses right along with y'all. All right. So we locked in. You said study learning 100 on Netflix. You lost back. Yep. Like, I want to pick your brain. I speak with perfect slang. I'm a king forever. Watch me rain. Hey, there we go. Cortez got bars. Came in with the bars. Exactly, Liz. You would take it again. Would you recommend setting a stop loss on swing trades, or just sizing for zero? Yeah, you could set stop losses. You could absolutely set stop losses. A lot of times when I'm swinging, I'm sizing for zero though. So it's like the amount that I lose in swings, like I usually was already going to lose that amount anyway with the amount of money that I normally would risk. So that's how I like to do it, because it gives you the wiggle room for some of the drawdown that takes place when the market is doing something weird, especially in this market. Like I've been trading since like 2018, 2019, and this is some of the most trickery that I've seen in a market, like under the Trump presidency. And I think a lot of traders would tell you the same thing. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. What about Netflix long term, like 6 months out? Yeah, I think next Netflix long term is definitely really good. Especially they got earnings coming up. I think we see a pop with that. Absolutely. Like Marcel, you helped me to feel calm in Tesla, even though it went cray cray. Yeah, yeah. No, it's listen. But when we do all of this stuff, y'all, at the end of the day, we got to make sure that we don't lose our minds, right? We don't want to let trading ruin our day, right? We still want to, still want to be able to go out into the world and live the way that we live, right? And you should not be ruined by a trade, right? If you're ruined by a trade, there's some you still got to work on your psychology a little bit. You still got to make sure you're working on your risk management a little bit, right? Um, like I said, if you plan, any league, there's usually a regular season and a playoff, and then they compete for a championship. So you can still win championships by losing in the regular season. So you take a loss, you write it down in your journal, you think about it, reflect on it, but you don't let it ruin you. You know what I mean? So yeah, we definitely gonna stay calm. I'm glad you were able to stay calm in that trade, gorgeous. It's all good. Still, you still be, yep, yep. Can you do a video idea on leap entry strategies? Absolutely, absolutely can do that. Thank you. Yes, you are very authentic and awesome. You weren't wrong on the such as Yep. Yeah, it was exactly. Yeah. Like I said, if there's a mistake too, like if y'all been in the group long enough, like I'm gonna let you know. I fuck up too. You know what I'm saying? Like I might see like, oh, I didn't that VWAP. I think that happened like two or 3 weeks ago. There was a play where I didn't have the VWAP turned on when I entered. So when it kept bouncing off a level, it was bouncing off the VWAP. I didn't realize that, stayed in a little bit too long, and took a L. So it says, Marcel, I watched a great video you made, I think 9, 10 months ago. It's about recovering lost plan of action and confront anyone who has had a big loss or is uncomfortable with should watch it. Yeah, definitely, Jamila. You may be talking about the one where I was telling everybody how I lost $50,000. Yeah, it's a process, y'all. And also, I'm gonna get back to the charts in just a second, but I do want to share this with y'all. Um, you should have rituals surrounding every outcome of the market, right? So if you have a big loss, right, that's bigger than normal, you should take a maybe a day from the market. If you have a big win that's bigger than normal, you should take a day from the market. Anytime you get something that is like bigger or like bigger to the downside or bigger to the upside, like than what you normally do, it's good to take like a little day off just to kind of be like, all right, breathe. Don't to take yourself off of that high energy of like either I'm gonna get it back, I'm gonna get it right back, or that energy of like I'm gonna keep getting more. You know what I mean? Give yourself a day, and that'll put you right back into like a homeostasis. You'll be balanced again, clear mind, and you can go do it. Also, if you usually make 50%, and maybe you made 100 or 200%, another good way to make sure that you are accumulating gains is to wipe that amount that was in addition to what you normally get or around the area that you normally get. Like if you got twice the amount that you would normally get in a trade, just go and move that to like another account, or maybe take it off and go buy yourself something. You know what I mean? But like, don't when you get really big plays, like that's how you protect it, is like not putting it right back at risk, right? So put it somewhere. It could be something that you do have in an account that's accumulating for whatever reason for something later. But that's something. I'm just kind of like giving y'all like little things that I do that I think helps out quite a bit. All right, so let's get back to it. Um, yeah, I definitely do love SoFi and Netflix for long term though. All right. All right. So yeah. So again, in terms of SoFi, I need to see this close with like a bullish engulfing, or some sort of bullish close above previous candle highs. All right. So let's go to Netflix, and then after Netflix, we're going to do CBX. right. Yeah, Netflix. Looks very similar to yesterday. Um, it's retesting that same level from yesterday. Again, y'all, I want to see this break out of this area right here. So if we see Netflix above 97.31, let's just call it 97.50, right? We like to keep it in those because those are major psychological levels, the even numbers. So 97.50, that would clear this this trap right here, or this bearish order block, and give it at least about $8 before it runs into traffic here. So I like it above that level, 97.50. Anything inside of here, like I said, it doesn't have much reward because it can run into traffic right here and get smacked right back down. So even if we do get like a bullish confirmation, like right here, it could come right here, get smacked down, and if it breaks through that, then it could come up here and get smacked down as well. And again, I'm talking about this in terms of swinging it. I'm not talking about intraday. With these kind of levels, you can play level to level intraday, but when we're talking about bigger moves being made, again, I want to see it break through this bearish order block before I'm interested in like swinging it to the upside for the long term. But Netflix will absolutely recover. Anytime you see something like a falling wedge like this, or a downward channel like this, if it's a great company, it usually what is this fly? It will normally recover. All right. So yeah, that's Netflix. Let's do CVX. Again, y'all, if y'all are just now getting in here, make sure y'all drop some likes. If it's your first time tuning into this, and you've been trying to figure out how to trade, been having not the most success on your own, definitely hit the link in the description in my video, in any of my videos, and join the Prosperity Collective, y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all, we got a ton of members here. I'm pretty sure they can vouch for just the energy and the results of how we've been moving in TPC. So if you again are having trouble doing it on your own, you don't have to. Hit the link in the description and lock in. All right. So we're gonna go over to CVX. So Denisha, is this a stock that you've been trading a lot lately? Is this something that you've been like you said? IWM has definitely been on a run. 540, nice. Some companies still draw down even if they beat their earnings. That's why. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's no guarantees in the stock market, yo. You can get drawdowns like there's a lot of things that go into like how a company is going to perform. I've seen Salesforce put up major numbers and have back-to-back declines at their earnings. So it happens. I've seen it all. I agree. A big win can. Yep. No. Absolutely. Absolutely. But IWM has been doing some unprecedented stuff. I appreciate that, Stoic. Some companies still. Hey, I truly appreciate that. I truly appreciate y'all, man. All right. So we got CVX. I hope Denisha's still on here. I know she's the one that was looking for. Okay. She said, oh, when it initially popped, I got out and now looking for another entry. Okay, cool. All right. So CVX. CVX appears to be exhausting itself of the upside. How do I know that? We had a nice bull run. It recovered its high up here, and then it broke it. And then we got this big wick right here showing a lot of selling pressure. This was also happening off the Bollinger Band. Next day opened up lower, but it was the inside candle, so still didn't quite break below here. Um, Opened up at the same level, right, or hit a high at the same level of previous day, um, and it has a higher low, right, but again, volume decreasing, right. So when we see like a little bit of a staircase, there's different ways to find divergence on a chart. One of them is volume to price action. Um, so when you look at price going up and then volume coming down, that is a version of divergence, right? So that's an exhaustion that's taking place. So we should be seeing this coming down. Um, I would just need to see a confirmation. Let me look at it on the weekly. Yeah. So okay, yep. So this is showing it better. This is, you see how we got the tweezer tops right here at this last high. So this was let me move this down. This was mm, this is March 24th of last year. So March 24th and the 31st are when the two highs came in, right? The first test of that high, the first point of that new high, and then the following week it came in, it retested it, and look how far down it came, right? I got to make the chart smaller for you to see how far it came. Look at that. We got to go look at that. Something probably happened right there. That had to be maybe like March. I'm trying to think. Was that when everything was going on with Israel? Can y'all confirm that? Was that around the time that things were happening with Israel? And Iran? I wonder if that was around the same time. If it was, then that would describe what I'm thinking as them saying that there was going to be like maybe like some sort of peace or a ceasefire or something like that. To me, if we see gas, or oil tanking like that, that could be what it was, right? Um, I'll have to go back and confirm that later. But anyway, we got the tweezer tops, which is when you see two high points stop at the exact same level, and then it got the major failure right here. So fast forward, we're here in January, and we are retesting that same high. So what we could see is a repeat of that, right? We could see us open up next week red, then we could go green, and we could find ourselves trying to retest this level, right? So at this level, a failure at this level would be a good a good time to start looking at puts. An even better time would be a failure at that level, and then a confirmation, on the daily time frame, right? That could let you know that okay, this next week, which would be the next candle here, would be falling and possibly repeating the same exact thing that happened over here, right? Maybe not as far down or as dramatic, but we always are going to see some sort of reaction at a level, even if it's briefly. We're always going to see some sort of a reaction at a historical level. So that's the level that I would be waiting for, which is what is this about? Yeah, it's about 168.69, right? 168.70 something, give or take. So I would be watching for that level. So I would just say between 168 and 169, I would watch for that zone for some sort of resistance on the daily. And if we get a major failure there, then what that could translate to is, the whole week becoming bearish, even if it did push up bullish in that first like Tuesday or Wednesday, right? So again, a failure of highs and then a confirmation would be what I'd be looking for. Or this week could have just been that one retest. It may not need to get a second retest of that high. and we could just get a confirmation next week by opening up low and on the daily breaking below the low of the week. So if we break below the low of the week on the daily, it may be ready to come down. If we can close on a daily below the weekly low, it could be ready to come down pretty significant. So that's what I would be looking for on CVX. It says 189.68 is the overall high. So was looking at swings. Our leap with this being oil and energy. You said you're looking for swings or leaps with this being oil and energy. You're saying that you're looking to swing from this point back to all-time highs? Yeah, I wouldn't be interested in I wouldn't be trying to swing this into all-time highs right now, Denisha. I would. So you see, we got the bearish order block right here between 172 and 178. So it has to get through that before I'm even thinking about it possibly like retesting, it retesting the highs. Right? It's you got the previous swing high, like I said, that happened in March, and then you got this, this bearish order block right here. So you got a lot of traffic that you could run into, before. And if let me use the ruler tool real quick to just see like the full decline, because again, my rule on leaps is at least 20%. So let me just see if it at least got 20%. I don't even think it got 20%. All right, so I'm gonna use the ruler tool. Looks like the high was like right here. All right, so let's just take that. And we're gonna come down to where it currently is, which is about right here. So yeah, so it's down about 12% from its highs, right? So that's that's not bad. Like, it can that's a decent amount to get into a play. Again, it's not to my liking. I like to see at least 20% when we're talking about individual stocks. If it was like this on an index, then I would absolutely be interested in leaps. But on an individual stock, I want to see at least 20%, right? Also because like how much higher are you expecting CVX to go, right? I don't see CVX going too much higher than than highs in the near future. So again, yeah, if this came down a little bit more, like maybe down to about the other side of the Bollinger Band, yeah. So if it broke down and broke through the mean reversion on the Bollinger Band, and it came down, somewhere here, like maybe around 150, that 150 area would be great, right? That would be a great opportunity to swing CVX. I mean, not swing it, but get leaps in it. All right. So that's what I would be watching for. There's much better opportunities for leaps than trying to force something that hasn't pulled back 20%. Because there are good companies that do pull back 20%. It just may not be the time for it. So one thing we have to always keep in mind is that we can't force a setup. So if something is not pulled back enough, it's like, don't ever get into a place of like, oh, I may miss out on this, or like I did some analysis on this and I think that it could go pretty high. You rather have a lot of your gains built inside of the retracement, right? So if something is down 20%, the retracement alone, meaning it retracing back to the highs alone, is going to get you a bag. You see what I'm saying? You don't want to be counting too much on the upside above the highs. You want to see a major fall from highs, and then the retracement to that high can make you a good portion of your money on your leaps. And then if it continues to break above that, you may have a runner or whatever that catches the rest of that. So that's the reason that you want to see a deeper decline. Because again, every time something hits a high, you also are always faced with that possibility of it rejecting. So I hope that makes sense. All right. Awesome. Awesome. Maxine, how you feeling? We just in here, going over some plays. If y'all are just joining, please make sure y'all hit the like button. Let's get this out to as many people as possible. But yeah, we went over Tesla, we went over Amazon, SoFi, Netflix, and just did CBX. So that's what we've been on, Maxine. And then Pixelby said you were right about March 31st. It was major news, continued conflict in the Middle East. All right, perfect. So, all right, that's what I was thinking. It had to be whenever you see something dramatic like that, it had to be linked to something like that. And I do remember that there was we were worried about a war possibly breaking out and stuff like that. So, if we see gasoline going up or oil going up, it's usually the start of it. But when you see it fall, that means that there usually was some sort of good news or something like that. So, all right, that's perfect that we were able to align that, with that. All right. All right, now I've talked y'all head off. So, is there anything that y'all want me to go over? Do y'all have any plays that y'all would like me to to go over real quick? Because I want to make sure that we in this weekend or in this week right. So I'm gonna cut that off for a second and just let y'all kind of chime in. What are some things y'all seen this weekend? Like some lessons you learned, mistakes you might have made, things that you want to do a little bit differently going into next week. Also, before go ahead and answer that in the chat. But also, I'm gonna keep drilling this in y'all head, right? Y'all gonna get sick of me. I'm gonna keep drilling this in y'all head. All right, we're gonna go this. We go journal, right? Every day, and then we go. And it can be in the same book. But then we go financial review, right? So journal everything, every trade you take, every entry, journal it. At the end of the week, it could be today or tomorrow, whenever you have it. This doesn't take more than like maybe 15 or 20 minutes, but it keeps you locked in, right? Just like showing up to these lives, keep you locked in and on the frequency of wealth and success. Right? You're hanging out with like-minded people. You're listening to it. You're reading it. You're writing it. You're consuming it. You're becoming it. All right. So when you do your financial reviews, you're just checking in with that P&L. Again, I want everybody that watches these videos on YouTube Live, and especially everybody that's in the Prosperity Collective, to have a green P&L of their liking by the end of this year. We talking about, I know a lot of people were saying they committed to 100,000. Some people were committed to 200,000, right? There's different levels for whatever, whatever you're seeing yourself, right? But these are going to ensure that you are green, right? They're going to ensure that you are staying on track to what you said. So 10 to 15 minutes every Friday or Saturday, and just look at that P&L, right? Go back and review your journal entries for the week, right? Go back and say, okay, what irrational or emotional decisions did I take? How many of them did I take? What was my maximum drawdown? What was my decision quality, right? Like, what was the quality of my decision making in this past week? What was my emotional state like? What's some shit that happened, right? What went down this week that's a little different than the norm, and did it impact my trading, right? Doing these things on a weekly basis, coupled with your daily notes, right, it's going to take you through the roof. And I know it seems simple, but it's like everything is the small things that separate, right? Anybody knows that is doing so. Us showing up to YouTube every day, me and Zay, right? You see a little bit of the growth now, but the difference in the widening of the gap between people that are just kind of doing it when they feel like it is going to be very obvious over an extended period of time, right? The reason Kobe was so much better than a lot of players And they've even said this in so many documentaries, right? When people were deciding that, okay, they had enough practice and they were deciding to, all right, go and like, club or whatever and spend their money, he was just like, well, if they there and I'm in the gym, it's no way they're gonna be able to see me. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like it was just that little small decision because it don't seem like a big deal. It's just like, oh, I'm not going to the club, I'm gonna go to the gym. That's not a big deal. But you do that over the span of years, you're gonna start seeing a major separation. All right. So, and like again, it's not about comparing to anybody, but you'll see a major separation from who you once were. You'll see a major separation from your performance last year. All right. So you said you learning more and more every day. I had to turn my phone off. We did it fine. Yep. Nah, for sure. Yeah, we went over like CBX, Netflix. I'm not sure if you were here during that, but yeah, I always want to like I said, I go off on tangents when stuff hits me, and I'm like, oh, it hit me. They gotta hear this, so I get it out. But like I said, I'm just jumping to y'all. I went over all the things that I want to go over in terms of setups. But if y'all have any stocks that y'all want to look at, we could definitely look at it. You see, I've learned how to really trust the higher time frames, and most of all, I'm glad that you taught me how to properly use the order block. No, absolutely, 2600 for sure, man. Listen, man. We gonna keep saucing y'all up as long as y'all show up. All right, Eleanor says she wants to see apply. Okay, journal every day. I'm telling you. Good points, question, journal, root cause. I'm telling you, y'all. I'm telling you. This stuff is going to completely transform your trading. All right. Again, y'all, if you're new here, you know what I mean. Welcome. Right. This is your first time seeing my face. Welcome. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. And definitely turn on your notifications so that you don't miss these. I'm here every day, 11:30. Well, every weekday, 11:30 Pacific and 2:30 Eastern. I won't be here on the day where the market. You know what? I might be here when the market's closed. I might do one on Monday. I think I am going to do one on Monday. The market is closed, but I could at least it'll be like the equivalent of like a Sunday watch list. So maybe I do my Sunday watch list, and then on Monday I do like something like this to like really prep for what I think is happening on Tuesday. So yeah, we'll do that. But if you're just coming like literally all I ask for, I spent an hour on here talking to y'all. All I ask for is just a little boop, one of them, just a little boop. Give me a little light, and we're good. All right. If you're somebody that's new and you haven't, tapped into the Prosperity Collective yet, the link is in the description of all of my videos. Right. Check it out. What you pay is it pales into comparison of what you're going to receive. I promise you that we have the price structured for that very reason. Right. We've talked about it a million times of like what we probably should charge for what we do, but this price point I believe is realistic. Right? It's something that somebody who's learning can afford, especially once they start to, make consistent trades, by being in the group. All right. So yeah, we're gonna let's see. My decision hasn't my decision has increased. I used to be so indecisive and didn't trust myself with the flow of the market, and I was losing like crazy. Now I'm progressing massively. Hey, that's awesome, man. What would you say the main thing has been for you, 2600, that kind of like, made caused that shift for you? I made some bad swings last year that tanked my account in 2025. I'm working my way out of that. Green, yeah. Listen, Michelle, I'm gonna tell you how I told one of my friends the other day. Right? We can make things in life as simple as we want them to be. A lot of times we complicate things because we are accustomed to blaming or being critical of somebody. And a lot of times that somebody is us. We talk to ourselves like it's not in a kind manner. We talk to ourselves like our inner dialogue can be very like just like abusive. And you'll find that over time, like it just, it shrinks you and it strips your confidence away. Right? But when you think about things in simplicity, right, and in very simplistic terms, you start to realize how much power you really possess and how small things around you are, right? So I like what you said about like, you had some bad swings last year, but you're working your way out of it, right? So I was telling my friend, she's going through some things that she kind of regrets. And I was like, look, sometimes when you in the house, like your room might get messy, your living room, your kitchen, your bedroom, whatever. You might have some clothes on your bed because you was rushing to get out the house. But you're not gonna beat yourself up about that all day long. All you got to do is just clean up. You see what I'm saying? It's simple. It's like your house being junky sometimes doesn't mean that you're a junky person. It means that things happen sometimes, but you know exactly what to do to fix it. So if you've taken L's, it doesn't mean that you're a loser. You know what I mean? If you've taken losses in this game, you're not a loser. You just have to give it a little bit more attention this time around. That's it. All right. So we're gonna keep it simple. We're gonna speak highly and positively, and we're gonna go to the next level with that mindset. All right. Mark Quinn, what it do, man? Angie, you too. Take care. Good to see you. No, I didn't do lift. I can do lift. So I'm gonna do apply and I'm gonna do lift. He's like, girl, you really speaking to the soul. Hey, listen, bro. When you've experienced certain things, you had no choice but to do that. So when I'm speaking to y'all, I'm speaking to me, right? I'm speaking to the person that literally needed these things. I had to talk myself out of so many situations, right? I had to change my inner dialogue. I had to change the way that I saw myself and saw the world. You know what I mean? Because there's literally nobody that can go with you everywhere and think for you and feel for you. That's the only work that people can't help you with. You gotta control that voice. So if I get an opportunity to remind people of that, because that's the biggest thing. Like this skill set is something that you can learn. It's not that difficult, but taking back control of your mind and your soul, that's where a lot of the work comes in. Because we live in a place that's been attacking it since we were young. So you got to first be able to identify all the ways in which you've been attacked and start to heal yourself in that way. You know what I'm saying? So, no, I don't think Stoic Trader is in here. Okay. The main thing that caused the shift for me was start to put my emotions to the side. Yep. And then truly understand and comprehend what I'm looking at exactly. Okay. It's simple and it just slowed it down. Absolutely. I'm telling you, when you slow shit down, that's when the magic happens, right? You want to always be in a cool and calm state, right? The person that is excited is going to make more mistake. They're going to make more mistakes. Um, nah, for sure, QTZ. You said Netflix just made a crazy pop. Really? All right. Let's get back to the chart, show. I've been rapping for a little second. All right. Yeah, Netflix did jump a little bit. Hmm. Or did it? Well, I'm looking at it on the weekly. Let me look at it on the daily. Come on, Trading View. All right. You said it popped? Where did it pop at? Maybe on the 15th? Okay, yeah. Okay, got a little last minute pop. Yeah, it's in a bullish order block on the 15 minute. Trying to make this a little bigger for y'all. Trading View, like I've been working all week. It's trying to take a break because this is it moving slow as on up. It's like you've been using me all week. Okay, yeah. So we got a little pop on it. Okay. Yeah, I still I don't know that I guess it just hit the bottom of the Bollinger Band and bounced on the 15 minute. That's all. Um, it'll probably just fizzle out for the rest of the day. It's like 20 minutes left in the market. So yeah, little quick pop on Netflix. Let's jump into Applied real quick and see what we see on that, and then I'll do Lyft, and then I will send you all on your way. So we better pull up Apply and then Lyft. All right. All right. So with Applied, I think this looks good to the upside, y'all. I'm gonna show you why. Let me drag this over real quick. So we drew the bull flag on Applied just the other day, right? Y'all see the bull flag right here? So we were already looking for a possible continuation to the upside to go and go and retest that that bearish order block area like around like $45, and it looks like today is a bullish engulfing. So this could be what leads to the breakout of the bull flag. Man, this thing is moving terribly. Hold on. All right. So yeah, so we got a three candle, a bullish three candle, which is also just a bullish engulfing. Um, so yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. Um, I would like to see it actually break out of um, the bull flag, but I wouldn't be mad at swinging this. I wouldn't be mad at swinging Applied. Nope, I would not be mad at that. All right. Again, like with the bull flag, I would rather see it break out just to give it confirmation because the market has been moving kind of weird. And we see a lot of we see a lot of pops and then drops. So even though normally a bullish engulfing, like I said, is saying to the upside, it still hasn't quite broken out of the bull flag yet. So I would want to see one more green day um, of to confirm it breaking out of this flag. And then once it did that, then I'd be interested in swinging it with a target, with the first target being $39 to $40, we'll say $40 will be the first target, and then about $44 would be the second target, right? 44. The reason I say that it's not an actual level, but what it is it's slightly before the bearish order block. So if you get a nice move and there's a bearish order block approaching, don't try to take it all the way into it. A lot of times you'll start seeing it fall off before that, or you might get a quick wick up and then a very quick push down. So yeah, I would like to see a close outside of this bull flag to be interested in apply. But yeah, that's a good one. That's a solid one. All right, so we'll do lift, and then I'll let y'all go. Most definitely, you said most definitely getting in next week, yeah, for sure. He said IWM owe me 20 for the end of day shenanigans. Yeah. Yo, IWM this week has been insane. That movement has been insane. I don't think anybody necessarily expected it to move like that this week. Yeah, lift is, again, we went over this yesterday. It had the fail to up. It came down. Like lift could continue falling. We got a bearish order block here, between 15 or 14 and $15. So this area right here, let's see the next level of support. The next level of support is it's at the level of support. The next level of support would be down here at about 1650. Right? So if let's say Tuesday it closes below where it's at right now, so we get a close like maybe about $18, right? We can get a bearish confirmation close about $18, then yeah, that could continue all the way down to about 1650. And if it can break through that, then it wants to come down here to 15 to test the bullish order block. I don't necessarily see anything about this that wants to go up just yet, but again, we could always get a pop in the market, especially coming off of a holiday. So we'll just have to wait and see. But as it stands right now, there's nothing on lift that says get in right now before the market closes. All right. So all of these setups that we've looked at, we could absolutely wait until Tuesday to see how it shapes up. So again, I'll be back here 11:30 Pacific on Tuesday to talk about what happened in the earlier part of the market to see if it's any moves. All right. And if you're in a TPC, it might be on the watch list somewhere. But yeah, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing the screen and get back. But yeah, man, it's been a beautiful week. I see y'all getting better and better every week. Still some hiccups, right? It's like you can't account for the crazy shit that happens in the market. IWM, I think it got at a lot of people. Mark Quinn in the comments talking about it owe him some money, so it definitely got at some people. But listen, this one thing I will say though, all right, you can never get too upset at IWM because it has also saved you. You know what I mean? IWM has also printed a lot of money. It's also did exactly what you wanted it to do a lot of times. So, you know what I mean? It's definitely gonna throw us, it's gonna swing us around a few times every now and then. But we know how to play it. All right. But look, man, I appreciate y'all. Once again, this is a good week. Y'all continuing to put in the work, continue to journal, continue to do your financial reviews, continue to lock in with the TPC, continue to lock in with Marcel Profits every day of the week. 11:30 Pacific, 2:30 Eastern. All right. I'm gonna keep showing up for y'all. I just want y'all to keep showing up for yourselves. Again, if you're new and you're looking for a trade at home, just go ahead, listen, just get off this video, go into the description, hit the link and join. You won't, it's only one way you're really going to find out if we're about what we say we are. And I'm gonna leave it at that. There's a couple things I will say though. When you join, you won't be inundated with, with a bunch of ads. You won't be inundated with us trying to upsell you into anything. You won't have to worry about there being some other secret formula or sauce that we're keeping from you for the right time to sell it to you. But what you will find is a bunch of supportive people and two people who are still continuing to be students of the market and learn and share even more knowledge as they're learning and growing personally and in this field. All right. If that sounds like something that you want to be a part of, it sounds like a no-brainer to me. All right. So hit the link in the description. And again, everybody that's here, I truly appreciate y'all. Y'all have a beautiful weekend. And I'll see y'all next time. Remember, invest smart, live free. Peace.